Hey everyone, how are you doing? Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I'm going to be conducting an energy reading today for the collective, so please take what resonates, ground yourself, shield yourself. If it aligns with what you are currently feeling right now, then that's great. Again, you don't have to take everything, and if it doesn't, then that's perfectly fine, that's okay. Before we get into the reading, I got a massive sort of download. And I'm still sort of like feeling it from since last night and waking up this morning. Something huge happened last night, put it that way, in terms of an energy shift. Now, for those of you who have been really working on yourself, you've been pulling away from all of the distractions and misinformation and psyops, etc., and really going within, working on yourself, shielding, and also clearing out old timelines, tying up loose ends, crossing your T's, dotting your I's, putting your plans into some form of perspective. You would have also felt, hopefully, you would have sensed that something even more intense has been coming through. I was also hearing that the revelation will not be televised. What this means is that it's something that is not seen. This is something that is felt. This is something that is deep within your consciousness, with your soul. There's some kind of connection going on. And the moment that you sort of like interlocked back within who you are and on your path and your journey, this is like within your heart, this is deep confirmation. Okay. Again, please take what resonates. If it doesn't fit with you, guys, don't worry. I am sensing timelines that are being shattered, broken, dissolved, higher timelines coming in. You're vibrating towards it at an exponential rate. So you may feel a little breathless, you may feel a little giddy, you may also experience like a warm, sort of fuzzy glow energy. Even your complexion might change. You might sort of have this sort of golden tint to your tone. Obviously it depends on your skin tone and, and everything. But you can see something, it's not your imagination. If you're fully awake and you're fully conscious, you are sound in mind, you're logical, you are using your discernment, but you can visibly and feel something is very different, then, you can align with this. This deep knowing, this discernment energy is very, very strong coming through. I'm also getting, for those who are still sort of like seeing things in a way of destruction, disaster, dystopia, etc., etc. They still have lots of clearing to do, even though some may suddenly get this sort of epiphany that they have to change, and if they, it's entirely up to them. So sudden changes, decisions, moving in a different direction. This can be, whether they've got groups or whether they are an individual or somebody, maybe watching someone's content. This is bringing in more awareness to really and truly be mindful about who you follow. This is something that, is commonly said now, especially in these times, because this type of congregation of subscribers, I'm getting, again, like this digitalized temple sort of complex setup. And the person who's creating the content, making the videos, will be sort of like, I know it's sort of like touching on a bit of religion, but it's sort of like, will be like the sermon sort of thing. And the subscribers would be like the congregation, the flock. But if you're putting out energy or what you are suspecting or what you feel, oh, this is going to happen to be like this and it's going to be like this and we're going to get this war And, this is a time to be really scared. If you're not scared, then you're not awakened. You're, you're sort of too much love and light and all the woo-woo stuff and new age, this and the other. It's casting out a frequency over the internet with the devices that we're using. And if people that haven't really been touching or really working on themselves, working within, and they're sort of like in this sort of distorted, polarized mindset, and they themselves feel like a bit hopeless, that could conflagrate the concerns, their fears, their doubts. And if they like the person's content, if they keep watching the person's content, if they're, fully fledged subscribers, then what happens is that is going to end up expanding and, going out to the field where it can literally change people's, minds, influence them. Whoever has a platform on social media, whether it's tarot reader or podcast or whatever, the class as an influencer. Now, this can either be something good or something bad, negative, positive, but there needs to be some kind of balance. There's so much polarization going on right now. And as we keep saying, all of what you see playing out right now is not for you. If you know within yourself and who you are, and you've got your deep knowing, you shouldn't allow anybody to influence you in any shape or form. It doesn't matter if you like the person's content, if you like what they say. Usually, there could be something that might feel a bit off. You don't have to take what they say, and it's okay to unsubscribe. It's okay. It's healthier. If you're finding that a lot of what you are subscribed to, the content is way too negative, but you have this deep calling within your heart to move forward towards a higher timeline, then you need to start cutting loose these things that are no longer serving, things that you no longer vibrate to. Okay? And as I said, I see 7:17 on the clock. Wow. Just need to ground myself in, because what I was experiencing this morning is just really wow. Okay, so let's just have a look and see what this is. Now, this can be either like this shift can be either going to show us like the negative side or the positive side. So let's just go in and just see what this is, because one side is going to react more aggressively than the other. Both forces are duking it out for control and preservation of our existence. Right, let's see what shifted. Let's see what's going on. All right. So first up, I got the World card. As I said, I just felt really and truly that something really happened to the world within the last 24 hours. And if you see, as I said, 24, we've got 42, but, everything is version. Just take what resonates, guys, take what resonates. The next card that we've got is the Five of Discs. So this is about the Five of Pentacles. Something has shifted in terms of lack, in terms of hardship, in terms of this poverty mindset. And, with the Five of Pentacles as well, five can also mean changes, but also this is about, like the willingness to sort of like look for help or support is given. I'm hearing like, that biblical saying that meek shall inherit the earth. All right, the next card that we have got is the Hierophant in the upright position. Now, before I go any further, I see protection from these two major arcanas right here in relation to those who have been suffering. At this point, what I will say to you right now is take what resonates from this. If you feel, this isn't for me, please, don't hang around if this isn't, what you're feeling here. Because this, even within itself, is again giving me chills and just confirming again what I felt from last night, going through this morning, and even as I'm speaking to you guys right now. Something really has happened here, and I'm really getting a strong sense of source that's really putting out some really strong energy and covering the people in this card here, which really represents all of us who've been, really suffering here, right? This is defense, this is protection. The Ace of Wands, this massive energy that's been coming through, this shift. As I said, you're not going to hear this on the news. They don't want you to know about this stuff. They don't want you to know. Clearly, they don't want nobody to know about this. They have to keep the vibrations and the frequencies low as possible, because that's where the cabal, the controllers, the evil ones have more control over the consciousness of the people. That's their playground. Their playground isn't this, because it's too high vibrations. The frequencies are too high. They just get knocked out of the way. They will not be able to go any further. This is strong energy, like strong defense. The next card that we've got is the Queen of Cups. So as I said, there's this deep knowing. This is a connection between what you feel inside, and there's this energy of stillness. As I said, it won't be televised. This revelation will not be televised. This is something that is felt within the heart space. I also get a feeling of like a transformation from the Five of Cups, from the Five of Pentacles or Five of Discs into this beautiful energy of the Queen of Cups, holding this really beautiful divine feminine energy. She's just been, it's like the spark has been ignited within her. I'm really getting a lot of Sophian codes coming through, a strong divine feminine energy. And then the card underneath the bottom of the deck, we have got the Nine of Discs. This is sovereignty, this is independence. So this is coming out from the Five of Pentacles into the Nine of Pentacles. This is completion. But this is now independence. This is where you can stand now much more stronger. A lot of things that you may have been working on is really, where am I going to put this? Is really coming in very, very strong. So let's have a look and see. Let's just expand on this reading a little bit more. What the hell? We've got the Devil in the reverse. I'm just going to leave that right there. Sorry guys, if you can, I'm just going to put it back, but you can see the Devil's in the reverse. Now, as I'm holding the cards like this, there's another card that's underneath where my fingers are holding here, and it wants to speak. It really wants to speak, so I have to pull it. It's really, yeah, it's too much. We've got the King of Swords in the reverse, so this is all to do with a lot of the, lack of discernment, can't make a decision, the lack mindset. This is what has changed. This is coming off with like reassurance. Tell me about the Hierophant card, please. This is the strength. This is the resistance. This is the protection. I'm just kind of like a bit lost for words at the minute. So I feel that this is something that you have to feel. Words cannot, you can't put this energy, this feeling into words. You can only feel it. strong fire energy here. Let's go with the Ace of Wands. We got clarity. You know what no longer serves, what no longer you align with. You're cutting it out. You're tying up the loose ends. You're cutting out things, people, places, and things. As I was saying earlier on, that when it comes to, you know, all of this disinformation and he say, she say, and all this nonsense, people bashing each other to death over things that they really don't even have a clue about because they're following the news, they're following the influencers who are just gatekeepers and intel gurus and hierarchy and all this nonsense. You just think that all of this is just a polarized plague that is playing on the people's minds. Why can't anybody see this? Why is it that I feel that I'm the only one that can? You may feel really kind of like really sort of like out in the cold, like left out in the cold when it comes to, you know, I have to come away from this energy. I feel as if I'm singled out here. I feel as if I'm the only one because, you know, in your, wherever you are watching this reading, to me, you do feel like you're alone, but you're not really alone. You're living amongst people who have a way of looking at things that are heavily influenced and intertwined with the system. There isn't much you can do for them. You can't force people to change their minds, just as much as they can't force you to change yours. You're at the point now where you can see the good in the bad and the bad in the good, where there's just distortion on both sides. But where you have this level now of groundedness and unified consciousness, this is what sets you apart from everybody else. And I don't mean this to be putting you on a pedestal and bigging you up or this kind of like ego energy. This is not this. This is resonance. This is this deep inner knowing. And what is really amazing to see is the Queen of Swords with the Queen of Cups. This, and both in the upright position. This is about alignment with your heart and your mind. You know. Tell me about the Queen of Cups. Thank you. Yeah. So we've got the Wheel of Fortune in that right position. All of this aggressive energy is done for. This is happening in the now. You've been practicing on your shielding. This is, I mean, at the end of the day, as I always keep saying, this isn't something that you just say today and, oh, you know, nothing can come and harm me and that's it for the rest of your life. They will not stop trying to get at you. Their goal is to keep you in a hole of despair, confusion, hopelessness. That's it. That might, you know, I might as well just, you know, that's what they want. I can't get that because, as I said, I mean, look at the cards. The frequency, the energy is just too high for them. Underneath the bottom of the deck, we've got this Three of Swords in the upright position. This is the disappointment energy that I'm sensing with regards to the fact that they can't get to you anymore. This is how they had you. Some people actually, I'll be honest with you, some of them, because you're not even focusing on the Three of Swords now. You're looking elsewhere. Some of you also may have a connection to birds. This card here looks like a parrot or a green bird. If you look up for green birds, and also the falcon. And I also mentioned the numbers, 7 and 17. So please look those numbers up as well. Let's just close out this reading with the oracle cards. Okay, so we've got the Beauty Way. That's popped up in alignment, in association also with the Chamber of Soul Gifts. So I'm really getting this beautiful flow of, as I said, divine feminine energy, really trying to sort of like put peace on both sides of the fence, both forces. This is like really peaceful energy coming in, and I'm seeing sort of like two becoming one, becoming more unified, moving in a very peaceful way. Some of you will also, now obviously where you are no longer in this energy of polarization, you will start to notice an increase in your intuition. Something that you may just think about just now suddenly comes in. You've got an energy of the life force. So I feel that also when you go through like sort of like the polarized energy and you walk into this beautiful portal, this is what comes out. This radiant energy. That's why I said some of you may feel that your skin will start to, your complexion may sort of look a bit glowy, goldeny sort of color, because you are starting to, again, this is rising up into higher timelines, into, higher dimension. We've got deeper than before. To me, this feels really, really strongly about the intuition, the inner knowing. No, this is not to do with being egotistical, as I was saying, but this is this deep knowing. You know that you made the right choice. You know that you made the right decision in moving forward. You've come out on the other side. For many people who relish in violence, hating people, calling people out and just really destroying them because they want to, because they think it's funny. If somebody's life is almost in jeopardy and they're spurring on that, they want it to happen. And despite them saying, oh, but I'm a really nice person, or I go to church and I'm a really nice person. If you're relishing and wanting violence on another person, another being, what does that make you? How does that make you look? It just really, to me, this is just my opinion, that you're not ready for the next level. You are still held firmly in the programming of the system that is keeping you on a lower vibration, lower frequency, and a lower timeline. So your reality is always going to be about hate, polarized mindsets, and just really attacking anybody who chooses to pull away in a peaceful, silent way and move in their own field. A lot of these like have their aura fields, hacked into. Easy for any interdimensional being to go in and just, consciously control them. We've got the sensuality, and this again is giving me strong divine feminine energy, this feeling of this bloom that's coming out from your heart space. And it's just really affecting you overall, this warm feeling, and even the way how how you see life, and even being mindful of the words that you say plays a big part in your journey. And then the card underneath the bottom of the deck we have got is freedom. You're no longer in this energy of trapped like how the others are. And I'm not saying it to be judging, but as you might be one of those people that might be a silent observer, a silent witness, a watcher watching the watchers, and you're free from all of that. All right, so the thing is, it's like you have to really feel that vibration, really feel and tap into that energy, as well as saying it. You've got to be able to feel it. And the moment that you start to rise up, you notice things around you that changes. As I said, outside is very multi-layered right now. Even your home may be multi-layered. You might start to see things more clearer. And also, I don't know if you've noticed, you may have, or even if you've had your own visions, that there's not much people. You don't really see loads of people, like billions and billions of people in your dreams. You'll see a crowd of people, but it's not to the extent of what it's like in this so-called reality. And even like in when you dream or visions as well, you don't really see much people. So that's telling you something about what's going on here. All right, I'll leave it at that. So this is what I've got for this reading. This powerful energy, massive changes over the last 24 hours from, and even playing into today. So moving forward, you're going to start to see a lot more things on the news or whatever. I don't even know if there's even 1% of you that watches the news or snippets of it. Sometimes you just need to still be in the loop with what's currently going on so that you are aware of it and you can make your own choices and changes. Certainly more erratic behavior from people. So just mind how you go out. Keep your head on a swivel. All right. Because there are tons of, sorry, throat chakra, there's tons of people who really, they really have a mission of keeping all of us in the system. And that's just due to their programming. So this is what I've got. Guys, thank you so much for watching this reading. Do take care of yourselves, and I will hopefully see you on the other side. Take care.